Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, here to bring you another retro review from past seasons of the Loud House. In today's video, we take a look at the Season 3 episode where Lola thinks she can dispose of the evidence to her crime, but she can't get away from the evidence when it keeps finding its way back home. Today's episode is titled Tea-Tale Heart. First we'll discuss the plot, and then my thoughts and critiques with my final score. So, let's get right into it. In this episode, Lola accidentally destroys Lucy's doll after being specifically told not to play with it. She replaces the old doll with a replica and tries to get rid of the old one in all kinds of places, but the doll keeps returning to her bedroom, leading Lola to believe that thing is haunted. She finally admits to Lucy what she had done, and they happily reconcile when they believe the doll will stop haunting Lola now that she told the truth and gave her back to Lucy. However, it's revealed Lana was the one finding and returning the old doll to their house, and yet neither she nor Lynn can figure out how that doll managed to get to all those strange places by itself, although Lynn may have an idea. Well, that concludes the plot of the episode, so now we come to my thoughts and critiques. Not too many scary themed episodes of the show strike the right balance of humor and scariness, but this one right here has the right balance, and it worked out splendidly. While this isn't my favorite Lola episode of Season 3, my favorite being Gown and Out, this is my second favorite, and she's just the kind of character that could make this plot work. She loves dolls, as we've seen many times in her bedroom, so naturally her wanting to play with Lucy's doll was something she'd definitely want to do. However, this doll wasn't just any doll. It was her great-grandma Harriet's, and going based on the kind of spiritual connection Lucy had with her in the episode Spell It Out, it's understandable why she didn't want Lola to play with it. It was a very sentimental and fragile object, and Lucy didn't want anyone to ruin it. Actually, she didn't want Lana to ruin it, considering how much more disorganized she is compared to Lola. And those twins share the same room, and Lana could do something messy that could get Lola messy. So yeah, it sounded like Lucy indirectly roped Lola into the same threat category as Lana. A little unfair, but she still made a good point nonetheless. But rather than respect Lucy's wishes, Lola, being the kind of girl she is, stole Rosie, not a bad name to give a doll, for a quick tea party while Lucy was away. But then one accidental mess led to another, and when her attempts to fix everything fell into the realm of impossibility, Lola was pretty much SOL, and knew she had to replace the old doll with a custom-made one to make sure Lucy never found out what happened. Gotta give credit to Lola's craftsmanship. She made that doll from the antique store look just like the original. Then she tried to get rid of Rosie in all kinds of places Lucy would never think to look, and strangely enough, that doll kept showing up in her bedroom. In Lola's defense, assuming the doll was haunted because she belonged to someone like Lucy made a lot of sense. Insert that ghost summoning scene from GarageBand as well as other Lucy character moments here. When trying to bury Rosie in the backyard and sending her far away to the garbage dump wasn't going to work, Lola thought trying to drown her would finally put that thing out of its misery. Let the record show Lola was willing to kill a supposedly living thing like a crime boss. But anyway, considering you can't really kill something that's not even alive, and believing this thing won't leave you alone no matter what you do, you have to wonder how Lola kept encountering this doll when she assumed it was impossible for that thing to keep finding its way back home without resorting to a supernatural explanation. Now, before I talk about the shocking revelation to how this haunting was explained, there's one thing I do want to talk about in reference to the ending, and it's the one thing about the episode I really liked. The biggest selling point to the episode was the writing. Nothing in the plot came off as lazy or underwhelming. Sure, having a few minor scenes with Lincoln didn't really add too much to the story, and were mostly just ways to get Lola to lash out by saying she's not mad. She was totally mad though. But the best parts of the writing were the willingness to keep things grounded in reality, while simultaneously making you believe something out of this dimension was at work, and the foreshadowing as the story played out towards the end. Even though the series confirmed in Season 2 that ghosts and spiritual entities are real, and how the writers could have easily taken advantage of the rule-bending logic for the universe they created to tell the story they wanted, they chose not to take that path, let the story play out naturally, and have Lola and Lucy believe something was genuinely supernatural about Rosie. Lola assumed Rosie kept haunting her because she stole her from Lucy and wrecked her beyond repair, and Lucy assumed Rosie would leave her sister alone once Lola admitted to what she did and returned Rosie to her rightful owner. And speaking of Lucy, I liked how she was very forgiving to Lola and knew she didn't purposely destroy her property. She never said Lola couldn't be trusted with a doll. Again, it was Lana who she believed couldn't be trusted since she shares the same room as Lola, but she did tell Lola she couldn't play with it, and her sister didn't listen. Anyway, the story story nearly concluded with Lola and Lucy, for their own respective reasons, believing Rosie was sentient and could move on her own, but that wasn't the case at all. It turned out Lana was responsible for returning that doll to Lola, and that's where I came to appreciate the storyline foreshadowing. Lola disposed of Rosie in the crawl space under the house, a hole in the backyard, the garbage dump, and even at the bottom of a lake. Lana explains how she was exploring all 4 of those places and found the doll there every time. When you think about it, going to all those places is something her character does all the time, as we've seen in many past episodes. So here's how you need to look at the situation. One twin was getting rid of a doll by doing things and going to places she would normally never get involved in herself, and the other twin is the kind of character who you would expect to do those weird and dirty things and just happen to find the same doll in every instance. It may have been a simple and quick explanation as to how the doll kept reappearing after disappearing, but it was also an authentic ending that played well to each twin's respective character and the natural feel of the story in general. Why Lana didn't just tell Lola that she was responsible for bringing Rosie back is an interesting thing to consider, but that's hardly the point in the grand scheme of things. Again, the writers could have used actual ghosts to make Rosie come to life, but they didn't. And this was the kind of ending you can't help but appreciate all the way around. Overall, this episode may not be perfect in every regard, but as far as the writing goes, it was as perfect as you could get to telling a story without straying too far from reality, if at all. Lola disobeyed Lucy, created a problem she tried to fix on her own, and truly believed she was going to be haunted by a doll for the rest of her life unless she made amends the right way. Lucy getting along with Lola and not coming down hard on her was really nice to see, and just like her sister, she believed Rosie was actually alive, and seeing her happily adore that doll even more because of its supposed haunted qualities played right into the kind of character she is. The foreshadowing between Lola's many attempts to hide the evidence and finding out how Lana discovered said evidence and kept bringing it home came off as clever, genuine, and not overly contrived or forced. In summary, just remember that even though you have a universe where you can get away with using spirits after you establish their legitimacy in the past, choosing not to pursue that part of the universe and writing a more reality-based story where your characters still believe something real and spooky is haunting them can make for an episode that deserves a lot of respect. With that said, I give T-Tail Heart a 9.5 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of T-Tail Heart. As we saw when the episode ended, Lola and Lucy believed in the sentience of Rosie, Lana simply didn't care to ask questions about what happened, and Lynn, given how she believes in all kinds of crazy sports-related superstitions, believed something wasn't right about that doll. Do you think this episode could have worked the same way if Lynn was the star and not Lola? Write down your thoughts in the comments and let's see what you think. So, as far as this episode goes, what did you guys think of it? Love it? Hate it? Something you would add? Change? Keep it as it is? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest Loud House content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.